Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I should really start saying good evening, really, because by the time I actually get round to uploading these videos, it's normally sort of 9, 10 o'clock at night. So, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is when you're actually watching this. Shout outs first. First one, most importantly, Dave Lowe. Dave, you saw my post on Facebook to do with that infernal clapperboard thing I keep using that's got green screen on it, and I know because you've told me before that I shouldn't really use it with green screen because it just looks awful. And I was basically asking everybody for advice on what I could actually do with it, how to remove the green screen, what I could put behind it and all that sort of thing. And you performed your usual miracle and created an absolute masterpiece for me. I'm really happy with it. I will be showing it off later because I'm fairly certain this will run over slightly 30 minutes. I'm fairly sure it will do. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you for creating that thing for me. I'm really impressed with it. I haven't seen you all week because now Dave and myself work on different departments, so we rarely sort of run into each other. Well, nowhere near as often as when I used to work in the actual warehouse. So I haven't had a chance to actually see you to say thanks. So thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. You've done an absolutely sterling job as usual, and you guys will be seeing that a little bit later, even though I've actually shown it off on the group so far anyway. So but you will be seeing it in action a little bit later on, I'm fairly sure. So thanks for that, Dave. Very much appreciated, mate. Your usual brilliant job. Absolutely made up with it. Next quick shout out is to Callie and Guy. Thanks so much for asking me onto your podcast again last weekend. Really enjoyed it. I can't say what it's about or when it's actually going to be uploaded. They work ahead, normally 2 or 3 weeks ahead, so I would imagine it's going to be a couple of weeks before you see that one yet. But I can't tell you what it was about, but it's another sort of subject that's quite close to my heart. So I was really happy to take part in that. So thank you so much for having me on again. I look forward to doing another one with you at some point in the future. That would be lovely. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And also, thanks so much to all of you for the encouragement over last week's video and the kind comments that you put down. I did have a very sort of slight wobble watching it back and basically thinking that I was either talking too much or prattling aimlessly and all this sort of thing. It happens occasionally. You look back, anybody that does videos will know this. You're never entirely happy with what you do and the content and this, that and the other. And you guys came through to me as you always do. You pulled me out of it with your kind comments. I'll read some of these out. I have got notes here, so please forgive me if I keep glancing down. This is the only way I can actually remember anything. Chris, you said Tony time is part of your week. Oh, that was the other thing, by the way. I've got to start referring to this as Tony time, apparently, because everybody is pretty much calling these videos Tony time anyway. So I'm not sure, it sounds slightly weird saying it out loud. But yeah, if you guys like Tony time, I'll stick with it, I suppose. We'll see how we go with that. But yeah, Chris, you said Tony time is now part of your week. Caroline, you said don't trim or mess with the videos, they're fine as they are. Guy, don't change anything, they are perfect. Jason, you had an original approach. Jason basically said that he was going to screw up my letterbox so I couldn't get any Amazon deliveries if I messed about with the videos or shortened them or didn't do them. So threats always work really well. So yeah, no, you got nothing to worry about, guys. I am going to carry on with it. I just do occasionally look at what I'm doing, watching them back and think, I'm not really happy with that, and then I'll watch it again a couple of days later and I'll think, oh, actually it's not too bad. So if I do throw a slight wobble, do forgive me and just completely ignore me. It will pass, it always does. So, and I can't honestly thank you guys enough for all your kind comments about the videos. I'm so lucky to have you lot following me and watching my videos, and um, you're all amazing. What can I say? I've got the best bunch of followers in the world, without a doubt. So yeah, thanks to everyone for that. That really hit the spot. Let's see, Rick. Yeah, thanks also for your comments on the video last week. You passed a couple of comments saying that you like the style and all that sort of thing. Good to see you posting your videos on the group, by the way. Keep them coming, mate. We need as many videos as we can get on there. All the other members do them occasionally, but I mean, it's always good to see new people doing it. So yeah, absolutely, mate. Keep the videos coming. Let's see, what else have I got here? Oh yes, you invited me to a group, Rick, called Spirit and Screams, which I joined. Cracking little group. If any of you guys like horror movies, you could do worse than pop over to their group and join them. Spirit and Screams, it's called, and they specialise mainly in horror movies. And they were kind enough to put a post on their page, on their group, basically asking people to put their YouTube channels on there to advertise them. I put mine on there and promptly got a new subscriber. Let's see now. Sorry about this. These glasses are so crap. So yeah, new subscriber, Dave, Savage Zombie Reviews. He basically, again, specialises mostly in horror films, fantasy films, that kind of thing. But he talks about anything really. He's a cracking guy. He lives, I believe, in the Isle of Man. He's got a very similar sort of conversational style like I have. He talks obviously to the camera, and you basically feel like he's talking to you. I love your style, mate, and I love your videos without a doubt. So yeah, that's called Savage Zombie Reviews. So if you want to pop over there, if you like your horror films, pop over and subscribe and watch a couple of his videos, because they really are cracking. Let's see what I've got here posted. Great. Sorry, I was just thinking about a couple of your videos, Dave. That Smile trailer, oh my god. And Nope, the new Jordan Peele movie. I will definitely be watching that, like you. Smile, I will definitely have a look at it. But my god, that is creepy. And I think I put it on my group a couple of weeks back, and it got pretty much the same reaction as you did, with the woman walking up to the window and her head sort of you'll know if you've seen it, but it is as creepy as hell. I mean, I'll definitely be watching both of those. Your latest video, really enjoyed that one, the Friday the 13th one. I'm glad to see that you're setting yourself realistic targets. I'm trying to work my way through certain franchises at the moment. And like you, I don't get an awful lot of time during the week to watch movies. The only real time I get is probably the weekends, and even some of that is taken up. So it's good to know somebody that has the same, or basically sets the same targets as I do. If I can watch 1 or 2 movies a week, I'm doing well. There are people that will sit and watch films, back to front, or back to back. I can't do that anymore. I haven't been able to do that for quite a few years. So it's good to see somebody that is basically setting realistic targets that maybe I could even follow. I think you said you're going to do 1 a week, which is fine. You're obviously a big fan of the Friday the 13th. So very, very quickly, I will show you the Blu-ray box set and a couple of bits that I've got. Now, the other group members, bear with me because you've already seen this lot, but Dave hasn't. So I'm very quickly going to show him these. You showed your Blu-ray box set off. That one's mine. And it's a tin. If I can just remove this very, very quickly. I won't linger on this too much because most of you guys have already seen this, and you get this little sort of book of like photographs and bits and pieces in there. You've also got Camp Crystal Lake Sew On patch, and another little book, history of Friday the 13th. You've even got some 3D glasses with this, because I believe part 3 was in 3D, wasn't it? And I think that's it. That's everything that was in there. So I'll pop that lot back. So that's the box set that I've got. And there's also, you may already have these, so do forgive me if you have. Another Blu-ray that I picked up, Crystal Lake Memories. This is like the ultimate collection of behind the scenes, making of documentaries. There are something like 3+ hours on this. I can't see the running time. No, I can't see the running time. Oh, 400 minutes altogether on this. That's a hell of a lot of content. So if you haven't got that, that is like the ultimate behind the scenes collection of sort of documentaries, interviews, that kind of thing. I actually imported this, but it is now available in the UK, and I got that on Amazon. So books, I don't know whether you're aware of these or not. Making Friday the 13th, which is a fairly in-depth, I'll just flick through it very quickly, but we all know how bloody rubbish I am at this. It's not worth it. Look, you can't see anything, but you got loads of pictures. Takes you right through the history of the making of the original movie. Another one about the making of the original Friday the 13th, on location in Blairstown, the making of. And again, this is a very in-depth sort of... I hate doing this because I'm so rubbish at it. Here we go. Just quick flip through. And the ultimate, absolute ultimate book that you have to have if you're a Friday the 13th fan is this one. I've shown this so many times, Crystal Lake Memories. This is awesome. This has got everything you could ever want to know about the Friday the 13th franchise. Highly recommended. It's not cheap. I believe it's something like £30. I can't remember how much I paid for it. It was slightly more than that, but I had to have this. So if you haven't got any of these, Dave, highly recommend all of them without a doubt. And that's my Friday the 13th collection. Let's see, what have I got here? Oh yeah, you were talking about Jim's Retro Emporium, which is basically a shop on the Isle of Man that sells sort of retro TV, movie memorabilia, that kind of thing. An amazing looking place. I've always said that Burton could do with a place like that. We haven't got anything like that local in Burton-on-Trent, and it's a shame because I'm sure that something like that would go down really, really well in Burton-on-Trent. So yeah, I'm very jealous of you living, you know, sort of in the same vicinity as a place like that. It looks amazing, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and the other thing is I've added you to my YouTube channel. There's a little list underneath the videos of the channels that you would recommend, and this, that and the other. So I've added you to that, and if you're on Facebook, feel free to pop over to Retro Movie Zone Chit Chat and join the group. You're more than welcome to post your videos on there, any articles on there, photographs, anything like that. You'll be made more than welcome. So yeah, if you're a Facebooker, by all means pop over, hit the join group button, and obviously you will be accepted straight away, and then you can post your videos on there, because your videos, unlike my 4-hour epics, are nice and short, very digestible. I like them because I can just pop one on for 10 minutes. They're perfect for tea break watching and stuff like that. So yeah, they would go down so well with the members, without a doubt. So if you do want to come and join the group, post a couple of your videos on there and post them on when you make them. So yeah, as I say, you'll be made more than welcome. We're a nice sort of friendly little group. We chat mostly about, well, I say mostly about retro movies. We're also into the new stuff as well. So I think you'd like it. I think you like the atmosphere of it. So yeah, by all means, just pop over and hit the join group, and you'll be more than welcome. So I think that's it for that part. Let me just go over the page. Right, little chit chat roundup of what's been going on with the group this week. Interesting post went on this week about an Omen prequel. Some very alarming looking artwork to do with that. It's called The First Omen, and pretty much all that's known about it so far is that it is a prequel and it's coming quite soon. But yeah, I would I watch that? Yeah, I'm fairly sure that I would. I'm a huge fan of the original three. The first one, legend, absolutely amazing movie. So yeah, I would watch this just to see what it's like. I've seen the first three. I've seen the remake, which I think was about 2006. Not overly keen, mostly because it was pretty much the same as the original movie, just sort of updated a bit. It was all right. It was an interesting way to spend an hour and a half, but I don't think I'd bother watching it again. And as for Omen, is it Omen 4, the one about the little girl? I've not seen that at all. Not really sure I want to watch that one. So, but I would definitely take a look at this prequel when it comes out. That sounds interesting. 50 years of film. My God, we're going great guns with that one, guys. Some great titles coming up, or have come through. We've had Clerks, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction. Tombstone, that was an interesting one. I bought that on Blu-ray a few months ago. Not watched it yet, but there were a few comments on there about Tombstone, and I thought, yeah, I actually wouldn't mind watching that. So I'm going to dig that one out and take a look at that one when I get a minute. It is, I have to confess, getting a little easier for me to pick movies from sort of the 2000s, the 90s, that kind of thing. You predicted this, Jason, didn't you? Because when I go through the list of films that were released, there are quite a few that I've not seen. So the 90s and the 2000s for me, I'm predicting are going to be fairly easy. I've already scheduled posts up until next Saturday. And it only took me sort of 20 minutes. The 70s took me ages because I was deliberating over, should I put that on or should I leave that one out? Oh God, no, I've forgotten about that one. I spent ages on the 1970s and probably the first half of the 80s, and then it all started to ease up a bit. So, yeah, we're doing great guns with that one, guys. You have really embraced this one like none other. Well done, Jace, again. For coming up with that one. You've really hit the spot with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what your next one is going to be, which you say is September the 1st. So that's going to be interesting, because I've not got a clue where you're going to go with the next one. Steve McCartney, just a quick one, mate. I'm really curious to know what this soundtrack thing is that you want to start. I haven't heard from you on that one since. You just sent me a message saying that you got something that you wanted to post on the group to do with soundtracks, and is it okay? And obviously it is, because we like anything different on there. And I'm really very much into soundtracks at the moment. Mostly because I've started listening to Mark Kermode. He does a soundtrack show on Scala Radio, and absolutely loving that. I have to water my mother's garden every night for about half an hour, and that is perfect listening. And he plays a lot of experimental stuff, a lot of retro soundtracks. It's great. So yeah, anything to do with soundtracks, Steve, just go ahead and do it, mate. Yeah, be interested to see what you come up with that. Now then, there was going to be a new segment this week, but I've not thought it through yet. I posted something during the week. It was, I think it was Zavi. Have got in stock like a director's chair, a Jaws director's chair, and I thought that'd be an idea to maybe talk about stuff that I've seen during the week that that you'd be interested in buying and stuff like that. Until I realised that director's chair was about £90, so somebody told me. So, and I thought maybe call the section "Get Your Wallet Out." But we'll see. I'm gonna work on that one. That could be coming within the next few weeks. We'll see how we go. Clerks 3, the trailer dropped this week. I'm loving the look of that. I saw the original a few months ago, and I felt very tempted to watch it again before I watched Clerks 2 for the first time. But I've been told that I really don't need to watch the original Clerks again because Clerks 2 is fairly much a standalone movie anyway. So I may just go for Clerks 2 so that I am ready for Clerks 3 when it comes out. It just looks amazing. It really, really does. I'm so looking forward to that one. But I do need to catch up. So I may just watch the first one again just for the hell of it. Because I did enjoy it the first time round. But apparently it's not necessary as it is a bit of a standalone movie. So maybe not. We'll see how we go with that one. Sad news this week. James Caan passing away at 82. The man was amazing. I mean, the movies he made. Obviously, he played Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. He also played that poor git. I can't remember his name. The Author in Misery. A movie that I've seen a couple of times, but there is a certain part, and you will know which part it is, that I cannot watch. So I tend to skip that or mute the sound, but I can't even watch the visual side of it because it's just horrible. But he was absolutely amazing in that. He was also in Elf apparently, which I haven't seen. Sorry, I've not seen Elf. I know. I'll make a point of it this Christmas before you all start bombarding me with, how the hell can you have not seen Elf? Woo! I will be watching it this Christmas, so just in case I forget, remind me round about the beginning of December, get Elf out. So, and the other one that I remember him being in, it was Rollerball. That was a brilliant movie from the 70s, around about 1975. Controversial in its day because it was actually fairly violent. Just about a futuristic sport set on roller skates. I mean, it was nasty stuff, but it was superb in that. That's another one, another movie, sci-fi movie that I need to catch up with. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I haven't seen it for quite a while, but Rollerball is definitely worth watching. But yeah, it was sad news hearing that he'd passed away, but he had a good life. 82, that's not a bad innings, that. So yeah, R.I.P. James. The Halloween Ends trailer should be dropping any day or any week now. The movie is due out in about 3 months, so I'm quite surprised we haven't seen it. But apparently Blumhouse are still working on the trailer, but they have said that they're going to have it ready within the next probably week or two. So we should be getting a trailer and a good look at Halloween Ends hopefully soon. And I will be watching that one because I just want to see how it's finally going to finish. I just hope, in a way, that maybe a year down the line we don't get something like, here we go, Halloween Begins Again. I think it's had its day now, hasn't it? They are brilliant movies, and I love each and every one of them. But there is only so far you can go with these things. But we'll see. You never know. Somebody might come up with an interesting notion on how to reboot it, or then we'll see. Jason. Oh my God, that video you put on. There's no way I can watch it, mate. Not a hope in hell. Bruce Lee in prison or something like that. My God. As soon as I could see what was coming, the sound went down. There is no way I could watch that. There is way too much bone crunching and bone snapping going on in that. And the bit with the fingers is just horrendous. So, God knows why you posted that one, but there is absolutely not a hope in hell I'm going to be able to watch that. I'm sure Chris will enjoy it because he likes his like Jean-Claude Van Damme films and stuff like that, so I'm fairly sure he'll like it. Guy will probably love it. I can't see it being Caroline's cup of tea somehow, but we'll see. But no, there is not a hope in hell I'm going to be sitting through that one, mate, even though it's only a few minutes long. So no. What movie is it from, just out of curiosity? Mostly so that I know what film to avoid. But I'd be curious to know what the title of that one is. And finally, in the sort of the news and the chit chat catch up bit, there's a new documentary coming on Disney Plus. Now, I haven't got Disney Plus, but I will be able to get hold of this. I think it's a 6-part documentary on Industrial Light and Magic, who were the special effects maestros in sort of the 80s and the 90s. They worked on the Star Wars movies. I believe they worked on the indie movies, all sort of stuff like that. So that is going to be very interesting if I can get hold of it. So looking forward to that one. I don't know whether you've noticed this. Has anybody else got Virgin Media? They've upped their prices quite dramatically. I checked a bank statement the other night, and whereas I'm paying normally about sort of 80, £90, it shot up to 150 something. I need to get back in touch with them and find out what the hell they're playing at. It's not because of the extra channels that I'm adding on, because they're all done through Amazon. So my BFI player, Shudder, and BritBox, that's all done through Amazon, as Paramount Plus will be when I finally take the plunge with that one. So if anybody else has had some kind of an experience like this with Virgin, please let me know how you dealt with it. I think what I'm going to have to do is go onto their website and just negotiate a better package, because I've got quite a few channels on there that I don't watch, such as sport and stuff like that. So I may just cancel those bits off and see whether that reduces it. But from 190 to 150, that's one hell of a hike. That's like 60 quid a month. So yeah, I'd be curious to know whether any of you have had any experiences like that with Virgin Media. Bloody swines. So right, I'm going to take a quick break here. Give me a chance to show off Dave Lowe's wonderful clapperboard break. So I shall be back in a couple of seconds. Back shortly. Thank you so much for that. It's just a little step closer to making the videos just slightly more polished. I'm not going for for perfection or anything like that. I just like anything that makes it look just that little bit more professional kind of thing. So, and you've gone a good way to ensuring that happens. So thanks for that, Dave. Much appreciated. Bin it or keep it for this week is this one, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Knew very little about it. I can't even remember why I bought it. I must have seen it at an extraordinarily low price and just thought, yeah, I'll have that. Where to start with this one? There's quite a few stars in this. You've got Charlie Hunnam, you've got David Beckham is in there somewhere. Who else? Who we got? Jude Law, of course, Jude Law. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. I could not have imagined Guy Ritchie doing something like this, no more than I could imagine Quentin Tarantino directing a new Care Bears movie or anything like that. But he's actually done a fair job with this. It's got his stamp all over it. He's got a lot of his old actors from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch in there. It's not what you would class as faithful to the original Arthurian legend at all. I don't remember giant elephants being part of the King Arthur legend, or huge snakes or anything like that. It's an interesting movie. I mean, a lot of the actors basic, how can you put this? It's as if Guy Ritchie has said, just imagine that you're in Lock, Stock and play it like that. And that's exactly what they've done. So they've all got Cockney accents. They're all using sort of words and expressions that you would expect to hear in Lock, Stock. It's a very entertaining movie. It's quite big budget as well, because the special effects in this are superb. The locations are gorgeous. I thought it was all right. I prefer my Arthur legends a little bit more, as I remember reading about them. Movies like Excalibur was absolutely superb. That was the John Boorman movie of 1981. A bit strange, but really, really good. This is sort of big budget, glitzy. The soundtrack is loud. It's all right. It's not bad. I'm not sure that it's one that I would watch again. It's one of those that now I've seen it'll probably just sit on the shelf. So I'm thinking that this is a bin it. Maybe I need to watch it again. I don't know. As I say, found it very entertaining. I must admit, towards the sort of hour and 20-minute mark, I started checking my phone. And then popping off to make a cup of tea and not actually pausing it. I just left it running. So maybe that's a bad sign, I don't know. So this is probably going to be a bin it. But if you like stuff like this, sort of fairly violent medieval type adventures, you'll have an absolute blast with this. And it'll be worth watching. But I'm not sure it's one that I'll watch again. So that's probably going to the charity shop one. The final soundtrack for this week. I absolutely love this movie. You will all know this by now. Let me just hold this up. Here we go. The Bitch, starring Joan Collins. This is basically the soundtrack to the movie. It is all disco tracks because it was made in 1979 at the height of the disco explosion. It was a sequel to The Stud, which came out the year before. This movie got slated something rotten. I've got a very soft spot for this, and I'll tell you for why. This was the first X certificate movie that I ever saw at the cinema. I was actually, believe it or not, up until the age of about 17, I was ridiculously young looking, and I couldn't get into anything more than AA certificate up until I was near enough 18. Mostly because I looked a lot younger than 18, and the other thing is I knew everybody that worked in there, so they were all familiar with how old I was. But this is the first movie that I saw, X certificate movie at Burton Odeon. I remember going down there, let's say I think it was one afternoon, and I was just, I think it was my 18th birthday, and I was just looking for any X certificate film, and this was the only one that was on. So I went to see this and I absolutely loved it. The soundtrack was brilliant. There are some great tracks on here. I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor, You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, Leo Sayer. The 3 Degrees are in there. Denis by Blondie. Let's see, Herbie Hancock. The Dooleys. Remember the Dooleys? Well, like the Nolans, I think. The Gibson Brothers, Cuba. Can You Feel the Force, The Real Thing? Yeah. That's the track listing on the back. It's another gatefolder, so if I just, there you go. So a quick look at that. So this is one of my favourite soundtracks ever. I love this. And to prove how much I really loved it, I bought the 12-inch single of The Bitch by the Olympic Runners. I haven't played this for years. It's actually, you see the vinyl's actually falling out the bottom of it, look. That's how old it is. And I bought this. Oh, I've taken the label off, damn it. There was a little record shop, vinyl shop, opposite the old courthouses at the end of Guild Street. There was a little record shop. It was all on its own. There was nothing else around it. And I used to go in there all the time, and I used to pick up second-hand, and this is where I got this from. The label used to be there. For some reason I've ripped it off, but yeah, I love that movie, and I bought them on Blu-ray, The Stud and the Bitch, oh god, a few months back, and I keep meaning to watch them again and do a proper review of them, because they are two of my absolute favourites. Guilty pleasures, but to hell with it, I love them. So yeah, I will be doing that at some point, but that's the vinyl for this week. Book of the week. I've gone back to movie tie-ins. I found this one. Doc Savage. What's this one called? The Frightened Fish. Now, I got this fairly recently off Amazon, so I've not read it yet, but it's an old one. Look, all the pages are yellowed. It's based on a comic book, an American comic book hero from the 30s. And I would love to get hold of some of the actual comics. I bet they're absolutely blinding. But Doc Savage was known as the Man of Bronze, a kind of a superhero for the 30s. And I'm really looking forward to having a look at that. It's based on, also, this, Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze, one of my favourite ever movies. This did the rounds on a double bill with Warlords of Atlantis, which was one of those Edgar Rice Burroughs movies that Doug McClure was so fond of making in the 70s. He did The Land That Time Forgot, he did At the Earth's Core, The People That Time Forgot, and also, of course, Warlords of Atlantis. And Warlords of Atlantis was on a double bill with this. And this was in the days when I used to go to Burton Odeon, and if I liked a movie, I would watch it over and over and over again. And I saw this so many times, this double bill. I mean, it was great because you could go in there at sort of 6 o'clock at night and you wouldn't be coming out until 9, 10 o'clock. It was great. Brilliant value for money. But Warlords of Atlantis I loved, and this was supporting it, and I loved this even more. I thought this was great. Ron Ely plays the Man of Bronze, and Ron Ely was television's Tarzan in the 60s. So he really looks the part. I mean, he looks as ripped as hell. That's the back of it a lot. And that's apparently what he was actually like. There was no CGI back in those days, so the special effects were, I wouldn't class them as ropey, but there were nothing compared to what you get now. But yeah, the book of the week is, let me show you the pair of them. That's the book, and that's the movie. So I did a review of Doc Savage on the website. I'll have to post that on just to see what you think of it. But that's the book of the week. Let's see what I've got here. Oh, now then, what have I been buying this week? I haven't done this for ages because I don't really buy much nowadays. I'm trying to cut down, if anything, which is why I started the whole bin it or keep it thing. But I actually got hold of this. This is the latest entry in the MCU journey that I'm taking at the moment. I watched Iron Man 2 last week. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was superb as Tony Stark. Mickey Rourke, my God, what a villain. Yeah, I hadn't seen him for ages. I think the last movie I saw Mickey Rourke in was The Wrestler, and he looked as rough as hell in that, but he looks even rougher now. Or when Iron Man 2 came out. So this is the next one that I've got to tackle. And I've been told by somebody that's a great fan of these that the Incredible Hulk is not really as such part of the MCU. It was done by Marvel, but it doesn't serve any purpose on the timeline as such. So I will watch it because I'm working in order, and I believe Thor is the next one. So I'll let you know what I think of that one when I finally get to watch it. What have I got here? I was going to do a little chat on found footage films, but what I want to do is watch a movie called Dashcam. I think you've already seen this, Jason, and I think it lasted about 5 minutes with you before it went off. So I'm gathering you didn't like it very much, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm fairly certain it will lead to a conversation about found footage movies, which I absolutely love. Finally, I talked about this one a few weeks ago. You all know that I love a little bit of independent cinema, French cinema, that kind of thing. Huge fan of movies like Breathless, The 400 Blows, that kind of thing. This was directed by Jean-Luc Godard, who did The 400 Blows. This was recommended to me by Geezer at work, who loves his independent cinema and classes this movie as a masterpiece. So I promptly went on to Amazon, bought this Blu-ray copy and sat down to watch it. And I thought it was absolutely dreadful. I hated it. I loathed it. It was just, to me, it was just a great big... It was a load of pretentious art house nonsense, a great big steaming pile of French plop. It did nothing for me at all. And this is unusual because Jean-Luc Godard directed Breathless, which to me is a masterpiece. That is absolutely superb. But there is a guy at work named Bob who also loves independent cinema. Now, I didn't know this. We got talking about it one day, and he's one of those characters that you just wouldn't think he would like this sort of thing, but he loves independent cinema. And I took this into work for him, and I said, just have a look at this, Bob, and tell me what you think of it. And he said to me, do you like it? And I said, I'm not going to say. I want you to watch it first and tell me what you think of it. And he brought it back last week, and he enclosed a little note, which I'm going to read out now. This is what he thought. like watching an actual car crash. A huge mess! Exclamation mark. Pretentious crap posing as great art. Painful. Funny, horrifying, and senseless. Monty Python gone mad. Probably couldn't have put it better myself. So I think it's safe to say that I'm going to leave that in there, and I'm probably going to hold on to this. I was going to pop this on a bin it or keep it and actually seriously bin it. But having read that, I've developed a kind of a soft spot for it. Do I want to watch it again? I don't know. But it was quite expensive to get hold of this, so I'm tempted to hold on to it and maybe have another look at it in a year or two or something and see what I think of it then. But it did absolutely nothing for me, and I'm pleased to say it did nothing for Bob either. And he loves his independent movies. He's recommended 3 or 4 that I need to get onto. So nice one, Bob. Now then, finally, quote encounters for this week. You are going to get this one. As soon as I say it, you'll know it, but I couldn't think of another one, to be honest. I've got to come up with a new idea on quote encounters, but we'll see how we go. Here we go. This is from a movie from the 70s, and it's just one line. To you from me, Pinky Lee. That's it. To you from me, Pinky Lee. Drop your answers in the comments or send me a meme, because I still love me memes. Right, I think that's it. I've got to cobble this lot together now and hopefully get it published before the end of the day. So thanks ever so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. Again, thanks to Dave for creating that wonderful clapperboard. Old AF for all your encouragement. Also all your encouragement over last week's video. I'm probably going to watch this one back shortly before I cobble it together, and I'll probably look at it and think, oh my god, there's a load of bloody crap. So we'll see how we go. And also, as I say, Savage Zombie, Dave, come over to the group, mate. Join us. You've been more than welcome. You can post all your videos on there, so as well as YouTube. So, right, that's it for this week. Thanks again for joining me, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe. That'd be amazing. And I will talk to you all again next weekend. Have a great week. Enjoy the sun. It is going to be absolutely roasting this week. Enjoy it while it lasts, and I will talk to you all again next weekend. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Ta-da.